The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The Psalm 23 of the modern translation of the Torah or the Holy Bible was most probably written and acknowledged by David, Daud in Hebrew, the son of Jesse or Yesse, possibly when he was being pursued by King Saul or Shaul, who wanted to kill him because David was just and fair, and because he was God-fearing, and because he was doing the right thing. He fled from Saul's presence, but King Saul pursued him because he wanted to kill David. Even though King David later, at that moment David, the harp player, formerly David the shepherd boy, was innocent, and because he did the very right thing. But in this particular psalm, he states very clearly, by those wonderful words, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. The terrorists, whether they be tyrants or dictatorial regimes which are vicious by their very nature, or terrorists acting on their own, have one aim, a vicious aim, is to have the dominant status by putting others, including the most innocent of the innocent, under fear. This is being seen time and time again when they attack the innocent individuals or groups of people, as they did very recently, even more than once. The dreadful incidents taking place in New Orleans of the United States of America remind us very vividly of such vicious acts of terrorists. Their very cowardice acts in killing the innocent of the innocent and in injuring many others who are or were defenseless. Even similar acts taking place at a Christmas market in the Federal Republic of Germany a few days earlier, and also other incidents taking place in other parts of the world, are very striking examples of the acts of cowardice and vice by terrorists who know nothing better, because they know that their acts would always fail. They want us to be afraid of them. But if we are afraid, we lose the battle. We ought to ensure that we carry out our lawful, rightful, and most certainly humane activities without fearing them. We should carry out all the acts of humanity or based upon humanity, in pursuit of humanity, without giving into the wrongful demands of terrorists, whether they be tyrants or dictators or simple, coward individuals or groups who want to achieve their goal by unlawful, unjustified acts of terror. They want to terrorize us, but we shall never, ever surrender ourselves before them. Trusting our Creator, God the Almighty, we must pursue our goal in enhancing the goal, the very end of humanity, in serving the poorest of the poor, the needy, the hungry, the thirsty, the homeless, the destitute, to the best of our ability. The terrorists may not prevail over us who believe in humanity, but at the same time, we need to prove to them that we are not cowards like them, but we are upright and we are brave enough to battle against the terrors of the world until they surrender before us. The joy of both Christmas and New Year, at least in my life, have severely been marred and overshadowed by the grief of those who lost their loved ones, those who are struggling and battling in hospitals or in other places lying wounded, and those who are mourning their loved ones. The joy of Christmas and New Year for them, or even the joy, the very joy of Hanukkah, or Hanukkah as some people call them, have turned to grave and grievous sadness. I share their grief, their pains, and their anger and rage. But at the same time, I encourage them to share my hope of achieving the true goal based upon humanity, natural justice and equity. I would have gladly telecast live today like my very telecasting at this very moment. But I would have gladly telecast based upon joy and happiness of this new Gregorian year 2025. Alas, my joy has been totally destroyed. Even blinking of an eye as fast as that, when I heard the tragic news taking place in New Orleans of the United States of America, but also in another country, when a violent person getting drunk and based upon Dutch courage shot many people merely in a dispute of words. I begin to fear that such violent acts will continue until my fellow global citizens become aware of the fact that we need to teach our fellow countrymen and women, but also our fellow global citizens, the value of humanity, even as found in the Torah, in the sacred Torah, the most sacred Torah, and also in the Holy Bible. God created us in His own image to glorify Him on earth, in serving others, in coming forward to meet the needs of the needy, the poorest of the poor, the weakest of the weak, the feeblest of the feeble. But at the same time, God did not make us cowards. He created us in His own image to come forward and to confront the evil and to overcome evil by our good deeds. Under the given circumstances, I, with all humility on my part and sincerity which I crave, invite all of you, my fellow global citizens, to stand up against evil, even the earthly evil of terrorism of every kind and type. And thank you in anticipation for your appropriate response, while I remain most humbly and sincerely, with all due respect and honor, at your service. Good night from my country. On this very night, of January the 2nd of the current Gregorian year 2025.